well. They don't have shooters in the secondary break that you'd like to have that are consistently knocking down jumpers. So that's going to be kind of up there. I mean, they're still going to push the ball because that's just in the DNA of this program. I don't think Carolina's built to play a 70 to 80 possession game. I think they've got to be in the 60 to 70 because not many teams in the country can stop a Garrison Brooks and Armando Bacot. And I think that's something that's got to be remembered when Anthony returns is that's the strength of this team. It's not B-Rob. B-Rob's not going to give you 6 threes a night. Leaky Black's not going to get 3 threes like he got at Virginia Tech. The ball's got to go through Garrison Brooks.
Yep.
Armando Bacot's got more consistent playing through contact, which something I've been very big on. He's got to be stronger at the rim. He's getting there. And so not many years I've been happy or been comfortable with this team playing in the half court. I'm comfortable with this team right now in a half-court setting. And so it'll be something that we'll have to see as whenever he does, in fact, return. As of right now, as we're recording, we don't know when he will return. We think it'll be tomorrow, but it could be next week. So let's focus on Boston College. This is a team that's 10-11. They're 4-6 in the ACC, so a better conference record by default of playing more games than Carolina. They've got nice wins over Virginia and Virginia Tech, both teams that the Tar Heels have lost to. But this is a team that struggles to score the ball, only 64 points per game. They struggle shooting the ball 40% from the field. They're 29% from 3, 65% from the foul line. Those numbers tell you why they have the record they have. Defensively, they're okay. To what their talent level, their size, they're probably doing the best they can. They simply cannot score. They put 4 guys in double figures, but like I said, only 64 points per game. They account for 2/3 of their scoring. So there's not a lot of spread out scoring for this team. I'm a big fan of Jim Christian as a coach. He's a guy that coached Ohio back in that 2012 season that Carolina played in the Sweet 16. That was what eventually got him this job, but his team has struggled mightily to score the ball.
Yeah, I mean, 64 points a game, my goodness, that is very, very low, especially in modern college basketball. I don't even see how they've won 10 games. That is unbelievable. I think that's kind of always been Boston College, and that's kind of in every sport. Not really a team that scores a lot, but a team that plays really, really solid defense, but does it without a lot of talent. That's the biggest issue for this team, is that their talent level is not there with Carolina's. But again, this has the feeling, again, you read off those types of statistics, it has the feeling of those games that we saw at the start of the ACC, of the full ACC schedule, like Georgia Tech, like Clemson. That's why Carolina's got to come prepared in this game, because Boston College is going to give you their best effort. You're Carolina. It doesn't matter that you're having a down year. They will come prepared for this game. The question is, will you? You've had a little time off in between games now. That was the good thing, I think. We were talking about it. You didn't really like the Saturday, Monday turnaround. I think that worked out pretty good for this team. With the momentum that they built on Saturday, turn it around on Monday and have to play NC State, I think that paid off. Now the question is, can you do it again? Can you get some momentum against a Boston College team that isn't good? I don't think they're worse than that Miami team that we saw this past Saturday, but I still think Carolina's a better basketball team. Can he come out, win that game, build some momentum, and carry it over into what's going to be a tough game, but is a game that I think you can win if you come out and play the way you've been playing the last 2 games, or 3 games, really, against Florida State. That's what I'm going to be interested to see. But I think Carolina in this one, they are the better team, and that's what should allow them to get the win.
Yeah, and to add on to their struggle scoring the ball, they're not a very good rebounding team. Only 32 rebounds a game. Carolina, like I mentioned earlier in the show,
wow.
They lead the ACC, or they lead the country in rebounding, and they lead the conference in second chance points. There have been times this year where Carolina's offense at its best has been, we'll throw it up and Brooks and Mondo will go get the ball. This is a game where that could very well be your recipe for success if you're not getting good action in your primary offense. When you've got to just chunk the ball up, that might be okay because they don't have the size and they don't have the strength to compete with our two bigs. Now, they are going to spread you out a little bit. Nick Popovich is a modern-day big man who can step out and shoot the three.
Kind of similar to James Mooney from Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Very similar.
We saw Carolina against NC State Monday night. State plays a 4-round-1. Sometimes they play 5 out. I thought our bigs looked very comfortable guarding in space and perimeter. So I feel like you're going to be okay with letting or having Brooks or Armando, whoever gets switched on to him at times, on the three-point line having to guard Popovich. But that's what they're going to play. They're going to try to drive the ball. This is just a game that I think if Carolina comes in with the right attitude, and we heard that a lot after we got beat by Georgia Tech, well, our attitude wasn't there. We weren't ready to play. Then Carolina's going to win the game. Because they're better. But you mentioned, and we've all year long, this team is as vulnerable as they've ever been under Roy Williams. Teams are winning in the Smith Center. They don't win here. Boston College hasn't won in Chapel Hill since 2008, 2009. And that team won the national championship.
Oh, yeah.
That, ironically, was the last time Boston College beat Carolina. So they're going to come in with some motivation to win. Because it's my podcast and I can make some adjustments. I am now allowed to pick them to win games.
No, you're not. You're not. Yeah. Because you picked against them. You can you're allowed to do okay, I can't pick them, I have to pick them.
Well, whatever. So I have to say Boston College wins.
There you go.
Carolina's going to win the game. Okay. And they're going to get above 500. They're going to win their third straight game.
I still don't like the rules on this, but we're stuck with this.
It's mine.
So.
This will be the third straight win. Would be the first time they 3 straight wins since they started out 5-0 to start the year.
Yep.
So they get above back 500, get to 4-6 in the ACC, which puts them right in the thick of things as they try to make it run at getting into that top 6 or 7 in the league. As we get closer and closer to tournament time. So what say you?
Yeah, no, I think Carolina is definitely the better basketball team, hands down. I think Carolina's going to get it done. I think this was. It's a good stretch here. This was supposed to be the back half of this really winnable stretch where you were going to come in, have a chance to come out. I mean, we thought at this point Carolina might have one loss from the beginning of the full non-conference slate. That wasn't what happened. Instead, Carolina, it was treading water and just trying to find a way to stay afloat. But, I think they did a good job of that. They've got some confidence back below them. If Cole Anthony returns, I think this is a good game to do it. If Cole Anthony returns, I think there will be some moments where they'll be working through some things. But, yeah, I think Carolina, because they've done such a good job the last few games we saw it at times in the game against NC State, but it wasn't as frequent. They've cut down on the turnovers, the silly turnovers that have cost this team games, especially in the second half. I think Carolina is able to do that once again, and I think they pull out the victory and beat Boston College, and like you said, get it back above 500 and get back into competing for what is a very, very interesting middle of the ACC, looking for somewhere in that 5 to 7 range seed-wise for the ACC tournament later this year.
All right, there you go. So that's our preview of the game against Boston College. That game will tip off 6 o'clock from the Smith Center. ACC Network, of course, will have the coverage of this game. That's going to wrap it up for the preview part of the podcast. Before I let you go, a couple things. First off, I have discovered that my co-host and my best friend, when he uses his go-to phrase, he sounds like Coach K. Y'all guys listen to it, see if y'all are hearing the same things that I'm hearing.
Unbelievable.
Get some feedback.
Blasphemy.
I have pointed this out to him. And it's just evident that's what he sounds like. He may be, this probably is because before he met me, he was a Duke fan. So maybe this is where it stems from, is he just wanted to sound like Coach K as a youth, and it's just
this is just a
carried over into his adulthood
here. Not even close.
So you got that. We're going to talk to you about the HeelToughBlog.com. We got a lot of great stuff on the website football-wise. You've got Anthony finally published the schedule breakdown, so go read that, as the 2020 schedule breakdown is up on the website. A lot of great stuff.
Dude, I'm leaving this podcast. This is unbelievable.
As with every matchup, with great insight on what each matchup will mean for Carolina. So go read that. He's also got Power Eccles committed, so you read about that article. Storylines will be up sometime this weekend regarding Carolina football. They announced a home and home with UConn, so go check out all that. Basketball-wise, if you want to go back and read our reactions from the win over NC State, you can do that. I've got a fun article about Roy Williams getting his 880th win, passing Dean Smith, what it means to me as a lifelong Tar Heel fan, and more importantly, a fan of just Roy Williams as a human being and a great basketball coach. Go check that out. And of course, we'll have you covered from all the reactions post game from the win or from the game against Boston College. I'm already declaring it a win, so that probably means a loss. So we'll have all that.
Yeah, way to go.
Go check that out on HeelToughBlog.com. We are encouraging you guys that see our stuff in the Facebook groups. Don't be shy to like and share. We've been restricted with some of our sharing capabilities, so get that great content out there. And would greatly appreciate that, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Roy's Boys podcast. I want to thank Anthony for taking some time to come on here, even though he sounds like Coach K, to talk a little Carolina basketball. This team is finally appearing to turn the corner as we head into the month of February. Well, thank you guys for listening. I want to remind you, go Tar Heels.